My name's Joss Garman and I'm a climate campaigner for Greenpeace, and we're on board the Rainbow Warrior, which is of course our flagship. And usually people know her from television for being down the southern oceans, getting between harpoons and whalers, or off the coast of Indonesia doing work to protect the rainforests. But she's come to Britain for the first time in almost 10 years because the government's planning to build a whole new generation of coal-fired power stations. The first one is just across the water there at Kingsnorth. And if it's built, it will pollute more than about 30 developing countries combined.
We're here today collecting people's boot prints, different type of boots, or their online cards, letting people know different ways they can tell Gordon Brown to give coal the boot.
Coal power stations are an abomination. I mean, it's just ridiculous. We should be planting wind farms everywhere and solar power. And I don't know why not. People say that wind farms despoil the landscape, but we put up with electricity pylons because we want electricity. And if we put up with the pylons, we can put up with the wind turbines. It's the same thing. If we want electricity, there's a price to pay.
The reason why Kingsnorth is so critical is that, according to Jim Hansen, who's one of the world's most eminent climate scientists, he's a director of NASA, he says that with the decision over Kingsnorth, Gordon Brown basically has the potential to influence the future of the world, because Britain is seen internationally as a leading player on climate change. And so if, even in Britain, a developed country with supposedly a sophisticated debate going on about climate change, we build new coal-fired power stations, the signal that sends to countries like China and India and even in America is terrible, and it would be a disaster if in the next few months the government commits to lock Britain into 50 more years of burning coal, the dirtiest fuel that there is.
Be careful when you get to the back of the boat because there are ropes going across the course.
Oh, it's really exciting. I'm looking forward to it, you know. I'm not going to throw myself in front of a whaling ship, but it's still kind of nice to be where the action has happened to other people.
Well, I'm Alex. I'm one of the deckhands. So there's 4 of us, and we do all of the maintenance and the rope handling, boat handling on deck. At heart, the Rainbow Warrior is a fishing boat. That's what she was. So she's not the best sailor, but when we've got a good wind from behind or on the beam on the side, we do all right. We're never going to break any speed records. Although we're a Greenpeace ship, we follow the traditional sea day. Everyone, regardless, starts their day at 7:30, apart from the 1 or 2 that have been on watch. There's a hell of a lot of camaraderie on board, and I think that feeling of solidarity that you've got with your people in Greenpeace, because each success you take as personal for the ship, and we'll have worked for maybe 2-3 weeks for one particular action, and then when that is a success, there's this wonderful group feeling that we've actually done something. My favourite moments are the open days, because it's so pleasing to see the emotional response we get from people, and often it's people's life ambition to step and be on the ship, and to be able to welcome them and be part of that is something. For me personally, yeah, every person coming on board is just like that extra bit of positive energy.
The original Rainbow Warrior was sunk in 1985, and then this ship was commissioned in 1989. And then when we were campaigning to stop French nuclear testing in the Mullaroa in the South Pacific, the French Navy came up in a submarine behind the ship, and French Marines boarded the ship. They couldn't get in because they'd welded up the doors of this area, the bridge, where they control the ship from. And so they sprayed all the windows black so that the captain couldn't steer the ship, but the ship just kept sailing into the test site, and so they couldn't understand it. So then they smashed the windows and threw tear gas in.
Get out! Tear gas!
And so the people who were in the bridge disappeared down the stairs at the back of the bridge and pulled a steel door over the top, and she kept sailing in. And then they saw the captain was actually up the crow's nest, up the mast. So they went to try and climb up the mast, and it was covered in grease, so they couldn't get up to the top of the mast. And eventually they got her down, but we managed to sail into the test site. And shortly after that whole campaign, the French stopped their nuclear testing, and actually it led to a ban on nuclear testing worldwide.
I didn't ever think I'd get the opportunity of meeting the boat, because you see so much about it in the news. As far as the coal issue is concerned, it's a major issue because I understand that there is no, carbon burying process available even though the politicians are saying that it is. It's over there, isn't it, Kingsnorth, yeah? When they were up the chimney, you know, and they got off scot-free on the court case. Well, that says a lot, doesn't it? But there's a huge awareness now, isn't there, for protection, more respect for many, many things. Life's got cleaner, healthier, and people are living longer, and so people want to continue to have all those good things.
The Rainbow Warriors is going all around Europe and various other places where they're planning on building new coal plants to try and persuade the government that the public are aware of these issues. They do know that the threat that coal poses, and they don't want it. There are so many alternatives, so many clean alternatives that we could have. And bear in mind, these are traditional coal-fired power stations. They're not the kind of high-tech carbon capture and storage stuff that people talk about on the television. They're straightforward coal-fired power stations, the same as we've had all through the last century, and it has to stop. We can't cut emissions in the way we're saying we're going to if we build these new power stations. It just can't be done.